So happy to see you. And we have a lot to talk about today because we're talking about love, right? And before we do, of course, we always start with 3 ohms. And you know why we do that is it creates a sense of harmony, togetherness, inclusiveness between us through sound vibration. If none of us had the capacity to actually hear the physical ohm, it would still impact us. That's important to remember. Vibration, we enjoy it through our ears, but we don't have to have ears for it to exist and to move through us. Something to ponder on. So let us feel that place inside of us that's sort of like a temple. It's a temple that lives in your heart. And as you ohm, that ohm is going to move through that temple. And it's going to move through our bodies and out, all around us, through the walls of your home, out into the world. All right? No pressure. No, just kidding. Om. 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 Okay. So now that we've sent the vibrations through the temple, now we can be with each other and feel love. We're going to be speaking about love, but it's important to really feel love. And today, when you hear me speaking about feelings, I'm not necessarily talking about emotions, perhaps, but it's important to remember that love, like we've talked about, is not an emotion. No, we feel it through our emotions. We feel it through our thoughts. But love in itself is a force, a power that exists in everything, everyone in the entire universe. There isn't one little space that isn't filled with love. Now, the irony here is that how often we feel unloved, how often we feel unseen, how we equate being unseen with unloved. Because unseen doesn't necessarily mean that we're unloved at all. It would be the same words. So when we feel unseen, we feel, gosh, nobody loves me. And yet, all along, we've had ourself. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have ourself. Well, that's good. It's everything. Because that is the place where love dwells inside of us. Inside of us. That's that temple. And by always finding our way to feeling the temple, we will know that we are always seen by invisible forces. We're always looking for proof that somebody that we know or somebody that we don't know sees us and acknowledges our existence or thinks we're handsome or thinks we're pretty or thinks that we're smart or something and gives us a nod. Hey, you. Yeah, good. That's recognition. That doesn't have to have love in it at all. There are people in the world who you can look at their picture and all of us could name their name. Does that mean that you love them in the same way that you know that you love others? Probably not. We don't love each other equally because we're not at that place where that can happen. Oh, it could happen. Let me take that back. It could happen, but it doesn't happen because we haven't developed the capacity to be so loving 24/7 that all this love that pours out of us is equal from people that we see and know and experience to people we've never met, never seen, didn't even know that they were alive. This is what we call God, the force of God or the goddess, the divine, knows about everyone, not just those that are in the inner circle. Those who say, "Ugh, God, please, do we have to talk about that again? Ugh, yuck." Same amount of love goes to them, permeates through them as those who cherish the divine. The difference that I'm wanting to talk about is the difference of feeling or intuiting love rather than merely wanting it or desiring it, but to intuit the feeling of love. So there's a term in Sanskrit, and this word is bhakti. Bhakti means devotion, the path of devotion. And what that means is it's devotional love, which goes beyond husband-wife love, beyond love of children or parents or best friends or those that are closely associated with you. It's the kind of love that there aren't any words for, and yet we look for words for it. Oof. And even as I'm starting to talk about it, I can feel it inside of me. Shoot. Every time. I'm not sad. Bhakti love is love for the divine. And it is very difficult to experience in words. But yet, that is the place to begin, is to speak about it, think about it, read about it. That's a place where it starts to become more familiar to us. And then as that happens and we start to feel inspired, we begin to intuit it. So, you know those times in your life where things work out when you didn't think they were going to? Or when you feel um, such deep relief and it feels different than all your other emotions. It's a love, but it's an intuition of love. It's wordlessness. It's this deep feeling where suddenly you're like, oh, and people who might even consider themselves atheists might naturally say, thank God. You know, it's that kind of a feeling where you don't know what else to call it. And we're familiar with the word God, whether we believe or we don't believe. I don't know that it really requires belief, it requires experience. It's experience. I don't find it necessary to have a name for it one way or the other. But, it's nice to have a name. It's nice to call each of you a name, so that we can differentiate in certain ways. But bhakti love is this love that begins to churn deep inside of you, and it begins to move through you. And it happens to all of us now and again. But when you practice in the sense of we practice surrendering um, our own desires, and we start to live for love, we start to live for the feeling of love, where we want to actually experience a deep sense of goodness, of kindness, a deep, deep sense of, at the end of the day, that breath that I just took, um, that's the same kind of breath that we feel like when we're relieved. Like, oh, that worked out. And you feel clean inside. It's like a sense of cleanliness. That also has to do with bhakti, because it's this awareness of the divine force that is us. I say it moves through us because I'm talking about our bodies. When I say it moves through us, I'm talking about it moves through our bodies. But ultimately, the practice of bhakti love, or deep, deep love, brings this understanding that that is who we are, that we are that. We are love. We are loving beings. Hard to believe that when you look at your phone. Oh, another 10,000 people down. Oh, more hate. Oh, look at that. Did you read about that destruction over here? Hmm. Did you read how those people were hurting those people? Oh, and how they're hurting those animals. It's like, wow, she has a lot of nerve talking about love and that we're love, when I can prove to her, being me, that that's not true. No, that's lack of awareness. It's lack of awareness. We all want what I'm talking about. Every single human being wants to feel that deep and abiding love. Because when we're really in it, when we're really feeling it, when we really allow ourselves to let it move through us, so to speak, we feel relief. We feel clean. We feel motivated, inspired. We feel like there's enough to give away, you know? There's enough to give away, and know that it'll just keep moving through us. There are, yes, people all over the world going through things that we're not going to dwell on, not the specifics anyway, because it would remove our ability to feel love. What I mean by that is, it's very difficult, very, very difficult to care about people that you don't think about, that you don't know. I mean, there are people in countries that where's that country at? Oh, I didn't even know there was a country called that, much less a city or a town or a village or a problem there, or people that are hurting there, or animals that are hurting there. It's very, very difficult, you see, for us to be able to experience love that's so profound that we actually feel it in every thought that we have, every experience that we have. We can't remember that there are other people besides the people that are in our inner circle. I'm not saying that's bad. Not at all. I'm saying we can do even more than that. We can broaden ourselves and open ourselves to send loving thoughts out into the world. To remember that if you are sending loving thoughts out into the world, it's because you have some recognition that you are a source of love. You are a source of light. So when you pray for peace and you feel it move through you, and it moves through you as a temple, just like you were sitting in a big fancy temple somewhere that's 1,000 years old and so many people have been in there. Well, you have that too, because you're 1,000 years old too. You have that ability to be inside of yourself when you pray for peace and let it vibrate through you, around you, and out to places that you've never heard of before. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Right now, we have people all over the world who can't do that. They don't have the awareness to do that. But they will be touched unknowingly by us doing that. And this is a good thing. I'm going to use a really weird example here. Plastic. Yes, you weren't expecting that, were you? Neither was I. It just popped into my head. Plastic. Oh my gosh. You see it in some forms, but currently it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. We know that, and we're like, wow, that's not right. True, it's not right, but it's correct. So you see, there's so much in this world that we think is really good and that we think is really bad that we don't see. Not with our eyes, and we don't hear it with our ears, but it exists. And because we're human beings, we can go beyond sight, we can go beyond our ears. And we can remember there's plastic in everything. There's plastic in every body, every water system. It's all over the air. You're probably like, why is she saying this? I didn't want to hear about this today. You don't want to hear about where people don't feel loved either. What they're going through. I don't either. But I know it's happening, and I don't like pretend that it isn't happening. I'm not pretending that I don't know about plastic. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to pretend that people aren't being hurt. But I know it's too much for me to think about it all day long. So instead of doing that, because I could drown in their sorrow. So intuitively, I know better than to do that. And I also know to do the opposite, is to know that there is sorrow all over the world in every single thing, just like there's plastic in every single thing. There is sorrow, depths of sorrow, people wailing right now with sorrow, people overcoming sorrow, people walking into sorrow. But we don't need to focus on that. I only say it so that you can feel the opposite. Because everything has a dark side, which just means emptiness, unknowing, and everything has a light side. So the light side of sorrow is bhakti. So bhakti is the opposite of plastic, but it works just like plastic in that it's in everything, everyone. There isn't any space that there isn't bhakti love. There's enough love in every particle of not only our atmosphere and our earth, our homes, our bodies, but in the entire universe for all of us to live in a much more exalted way. But like plastic, bhakti love gets ignored. We don't see it, so we don't think about it. You might read an article about it and go, wow, and then you go off to work. I'm not saying that's bad. Just talking about it so that we can also talk about bhakti love, that we forget that bhakti love is everywhere, except on the news, I guess. We hear about plastic on the news. That's how come we all know about it. But bhakti love, no, it's not on the news. And so in today's news, we're talking about bhakti love hit California in such a profound way that they all were elevated in their consciousness. No. But you see, we think that's ridiculous because it's still like a new thing. See, hate isn't a new thing. It's always there. So it's always on the front page. It's always news, 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 news. Who hates who? Who's gossiping about who? What's going on next? Who's harming who? And it has this draw to it because it's a vibration. So it has a draw to it. So we pick up our phone and we're like, okay, who did what to who today? And now what's going on? And oh my God, and what did he say now? Oh, right? So we're sucked into it. But again, where is bhakti love? Where is that devotional love? It never went away. It's as profound as it's always been. But you have to be really quiet. Really quiet to feel it. So tears can be sorrow, and tears can be love. And they look the same, but they don't feel the same. Bhakti love. It's the presence. It's not only the presence of the divine, it's the awareness of the presence of the divine. It's the awareness of the presence of the divine. And that takes intuition, not intellectualizing. Love our intellects, of course. We've got to have our intellects, but we're not talking about that right now. Like my cup. Bhakti love cannot be, well, I say it cannot be analyzed, but it's analyzed anywhere that people are talking about, well, what kind of love is this? And what's this mean? And what's that mean? Of course, it's analyzed and intellectualized, but that's not how we experience it. It can only be experienced intuitively. Intuitively. So, what does that mean? So, intuition is one of those things that, remember, it never projects. Intuition doesn't project. No, it receives. It's it's the emptiness inside of you where you find things and you find people and you find ideas and you find love. It's your finder. It's like when you intuition is like when you lose your keys and then suddenly it pops into your head where they are. That's a very low level of intuition, but it's the same principle as when you can't find God. Where'd I put God? I had it the other day. I had God. Yeah, where did that go? Where'd it go? Where did it go? Okay, let me think. Where did I put that? Is it under here? Is it over there? Where did I put God? And then something comes into your mind, into your heart, and suddenly it's there. Oh, that's where I put it. Oh, that's where I put it. It's still there. It never left. Oh my gosh, now that I feel it, I feel like I have more God than I realized, and I can give it away. I found more God in me today than I thought I had. I can give it away because I know that I can make more merely through awareness. Why is this important to have this love? When we live in such a dark world, why is it important? Will it take all the plastic away? Eventually, yes. Because love is the answer to every question that we will ever ask. Love is the answer to every question that we will ever ask. As love gives us inspiration to heal, to make art, to make music. Yeah. Love is the answer to every question. And yet, it's the thing that we all want because we think we're empty. No love in here. Does anybody see me? Again, that's recognition. We can generate love because we are love. But we don't because we feel unloved. And we feel unlovable. There's a particular person that I drive by when I'm driving into work. And I've been seeing him now for maybe, I don't know, maybe a little over a month. And he's talking to the spirits. A lot of people who are out there talk to the spirits because we don't live in just one world. And I watch him and I send him love every time because why wouldn't I? There he is, standing there, kind of holding court. I can't stop and feed him, but I can sit in my car at the red light, or even if I am fortunate enough to get the green arrow, I can sit there and look at him, and he'll never know that he was seen in that moment. Mm-mm. Not consciously, he won't know that he was seen. But he was, and he still is. I'm talking about him to you. And that's love. That's God. That's bhakti. It makes a difference. Yeah. And him standing there like that touched me. It touched me, and it stirred inside of me this desire to return. Because when I see him, I felt his sorrow. And his sorrow ignites the bhakti inside of me. See, bhakti love feeds on sorrow. Wherever there's pain, wherever there's emptiness, love wants to rush in there and fill it up. It's like a draw, it's like a calling. And it's important that we don't resist it. I don't get out of my car. I'm not being reckless and overwatching him. I'm aware of him. I'm only using him as an example, a beautiful example. And we interact. but he doesn't know it. Nobody around me knows it because my eyes are on the road and I always have my sunglasses on. So nobody can even see my eyes. And it doesn't matter. Normally, I wouldn't even tell you these things about how I spend my private time like this. But he came into my mind as we were speaking. He just came into my mind. And I thought, I'm just going to tell you how I spend a few moments loving this man who we will never, ever come into contact with each other physically. But we've both received from one another. You see, and it only took a few moments, and it's still with me. And now I'm sharing it with you, what he gave to me. And other people will see him there and they'll think he's just taking, that he just wants, that he didn't do enough in the society. What's wrong with that person? Why is he acting like that? No, his sorrow touched me. The sorrow of knowing that other people see him that way touched me. And what did it make me do? It made me go deeper inside of myself to find that bhakti, to give to him. His sorrow touched me. So it appears that he's unloved, but he is not. It appears that many of us are unloved because we're unseen. But if you have the heart to see, you will feel that sorrow for that moment and you will send that love to them, knowing that there's never going to be a thank you to you because you don't need it. It's not part of what we're doing. We're giving. It's not about, oh, look at me, thank you. Yeah, they didn't even say thank you. So if you give and you need a thank you, you might want to ask yourself, did you give a gift or were you making a business exchange here? Love doesn't need any gratitude. No, no. It always moves. It's always with us. It's always moving. It's always changing us. And as it moves through you, you benefit. This person's sorrow touched me because I too have sorrow. His sorrow and my sorrow recognized each other. And the result of it is that we both benefited. So people who live in other countries that we never think about, I'm using this example of far away. They could be on the road next to you, but considering thinking about people who are so far away that they don't even come into our minds, but they're still living, they're still alive, and they too have sorrow. And if you let it just move through you, you won't become sorrowful. It won't fill you with, oh God, this is horrible. No, because it will touch on your bhakti. It'll touch on your that love that, like as you see when, as Ruby says, I do it every time. Because when it touches on that part of you, you see, you experience the sorrow, but the bhakti wants to go and touch it. So it moves through you, healing your own sorrow. And it moves through you and touches their sorrow. And it keeps doing that. Instead of being repulsed by people's pain, repulsed by people's situations, instead of being so shocked that I don't want to hear it, I don't want to know about it. Okay, I understand that. I do. I do. Some people say, well, you have to shut down so that you can live. No. I have no awareness of that being the truth. You see me, I'm a being who I feel deeply, and I'm not alone. I just I'm just not self-conscious about it. And it doesn't matter if you're self-conscious or not. If you're self-conscious about it, I respect that. Absolutely. But don't let it stop you. Go do it privately. You don't have to tell people. I could be riding in a car with other people and everybody's chattering, and I may see somebody on the side of the road, and I'm still going to send that person love. It didn't take anything from me. And it took a few seconds to do that. We don't want to get to a place to where we don't want to know about. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know, and I don't want to know anything about sadness. No, I don't want to know about it. You don't have to know the details to remember that it's there. Because you see, you are another person to another person. So your sorrow, that person over here, they don't want to know about your sorrow. Of course not. Any more than you want to know about their sorrow. You never met them, they never met you. So everybody's like, I don't want to hear about anybody else's sorrow. Well, just remember that that's how they're thinking about you too. And that's okay, because that's the way it is with many people. But it doesn't have to be that way with you or with me or with us. We don't have to know about an individual's sorrow, what caused it. It doesn't matter what caused it. They're in pain, they're in sorrow, they have grief, they have bewilderment. What will I do? What will become of me? How will I live? That sorrow, if you can just let yourself, let it move through you as it's moving through you, just like a visitor, as it moves through you, it will inspire you to send them love. And everything gets better because of that. It's just a rare thing to do, which is interesting because it takes such little effort and there's so much reward. So it's also important with love to make sure that you're conscious of it moving through you, that you have it, that you are loved, and to never ever think of yourself as unloved. By touching people that you don't know and understanding that they too have this feeling of being unloved, it awakens in you that, wow, I have love for somebody else who doesn't feel loved in that moment. Maybe I need to take a little better, deeper look at myself and know that I am love, that I can fill myself with love. It's a good thing because it helps us to let go of the feeling of I've been betrayed. All of us have the feeling of being betrayed in the past. I say in the past because here we are today. So anything from yesterday on, we all understand the feeling of being betrayed, being cheated, being unseen, being disrespected, and so on and so forth. And it builds up inside of us. And it makes us feel like the medicine has to come from somebody else. It makes us forget that we are medicine for ourselves, that we have as we give it to other people, we must remember it moves through us and it's helping us to heal all of these sorrows that we too have. Regrets and guilts and all of these kinds of things will always be healed through love. We can't go and get a prescription for love. Okay, take 2 doses every day. Call me in a week. No, you don't need that. It's already available. And remember that love inspires us. It inspires us to do well in the world. It inspires us to be strong and to be kind. I know everybody's like kind of like, what's this AI thing going to do to the world? We're not going to need humans. We're not going to be communicating and connecting with one another. Nah, we're not computers. I don't think you need me to tell you that. We're made out of love. Never think that love will go away no matter how dark the world gets, because it's got some dark places right now. It does. But dwell on thoughts of love. Dwell on your own healing, which means to let go that that person hurt you, because you know that you've hurt others too. And that has to be healed within yourself, within myself. For me to sit here and say this to you and say to you, oh no, I've never hurt anyone. No, that would be an untruth, of course. Yeah. So I don't want to live in that place where all I can think of is, well, yeah, I did something, but you know, what they did to me was far worse. It's not a contest. Life's not a competition in this way. Who's the worst? You don't get an award for being the worst. You don't get an award for being the best, whatever that might mean. But it is deeply rewarding to live in love. If you are a person who loves words, your poetry will get deeper because you'll feel the sorrow and the love simultaneously. If you love music, you'll be able to feel the sorrow and the love simultaneously. If you are an engineer creating things for the future, you will feel the sorrow and the love simultaneously. And we will create ideas and healing modalities that right now we're unconscious of. They only come into our consciousness through love. All medicine, all poetry, all beauty comes from love. Everything that we treasure comes from love. Our greatest gifts, our greatest treasures, our greatest value is love. But we have to become aware of how valuable it really is and not think of it as an emotion. That's what devalues awareness of love, is to think of it as an emotion. It is not. It is merely moves through our emotions. So love is intuitive, to be felt intuitively. You feel, oh, I need to put more love out through the world. I feel it. You see somebody walk by you, or you see your neighbor and they don't look as happy today as they did yesterday. They have a little bit more sorrow than they did yesterday. Send them love. You can send love in the form of peace. You know me, I love that word. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in our mind, peace in our hearts, peace in our bodies. extend that out. Anything that you give to yourself in terms of love and understanding, kindness, compassion, it will move through you. So when you neglect yourself and you don't feed yourself compassion, well, you're not going to have it for everybody else either. So those that walk amongst us that are what we would consider the meanest, well, they just they just don't know that sorrow and love are always together. Sorrow without the awareness of love can make us bitter and can make us mean. It's true. It's not the absence of love. The love is always present. It's the lack of awareness of love. Where sometimes people are afraid to give. It creates selfishness inside of us when we have a lack of awareness of love. So we stop giving. No, you should get your own. No, you have to buy that yourself. No, and we're going to charge you extra because of this, or really mean that we're not going to go into. And when people get to that level of meanness, that's sorrow that we're not aware of. So keep giving love. So those that are stuck in what we call meanness can start to feel a little bit better. Start to feel a little bit better. And if you think that that's a bad thing to send that out to those that have that in them, oh, don't think so much about that. Send it to everyone. Because without love, there is no understanding. There isn't all those new ideas I'm telling you about. There isn't going to be all that creativity. Anybody can be mean. And it's a terrible thing because it's even worse than sorrow. It's such a deep pain and agony that's in there that wants. It's so bad that it causes the person who has it. It's unthinkable. So send love. Don't think about people that are suffering in this way. You think about sending love to everyone, and they too are covered. It's sort of like insurance. They're being covered by you. We're ensuring that that meanness gets softened, even though we don't know who those people are. But if they don't get softened, their pain can cause a lot of problems and stop a lot of good creativity from coming into existence. And we need all the creativity that we can find for food, for the care of water, for the care of the air, for the care of one another. Pardon me. And don't forget politicians. Whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them, they need us to send them love, to send them peace, to send them the intelligence, the awareness of love. In our country, as well as in all countries, all politicians are hungry for love. They don't think they are, but they are. They eat junk food. Really, junk food in the sense of just make me famous. That's junk food. Just because you're seen doesn't mean you're filled with love. So send that love to all those who are in leadership positions, as well as those who live on the corner and you see them as you pass by, talking to the spirits. Everyone needs love right now. Remember that weird example I gave you about plastic? It's a weird example. But love is in everything. It's in every particle of every single thing. And when we dwell in love, we dwell about love. I just felt it again. But this time it didn't make me cry. It did make me laugh. So, bhakti love can feel like sorrow, but it was just stimulated by sorrow. So the next time your heart feels a little sad because of whatever reason, but maybe it's somebody you don't know. Maybe you watched a video about an animal that's been hurt. That sorrow is alerting you to send love. And send it. Don't resist. Send it. Feel it moving through you. Send it to your past. You know, when those thoughts come up, sometimes I'll be doing something and all of a sudden I have this vision in my head about something that happened such a long time ago, and I can still feel it moving through my body, making me stiff and feel cold. Send yourself compassion. Send yourself compassion. Send your past compassion. Really. When you have that, you feel that, you know that somebody did something to you and it's a scar inside of you. It still makes you feel raw. Send compassion to that place inside of you in the past. And as that happens, it'll move through your present and out into your future as a healing. Yeah. You see what I mean? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the past, the present, the future. It's in Bolivia. It's in Denmark. It's in San Diego. It's under the ocean. It's on Mount Everest. It's in dust. It's everywhere. It's in pollution. It's in plastic. Search it out and send love. Be love. Know that you are loved. Love, love, love. Make it your chant today. Love, love, love. I am love. I am love. I am love. Yeah. See how you feel about that, right? Isn't that what we love about, and the most the songs that we sing the most are always about love. Whether they're rock and roll songs, they're always about love. Yes, it's romantic love and all those kinds of loves. You go to a church, you sing about love. Music is always about love. Sometimes it's about sorrow. Yeah, and you feel it. And it moves you, and it can move you into feeling love. Whenever you feel sorrow, know that you've also touched on love. They're always there. Sorrow touches love, love touches sorrow. Till eventually we have no sorrow whatsoever. We don't even know what that feels like, but it's important for us to talk about it just for 30 seconds. Because those that we regard as masters of love, the beautiful masters that have walked our planet, some known, some unknown, some named, some unnamed, but they became masters because No sorrow can touch them anymore. They're so filled with love that they're always where sorrow is, but they don't feel sorrow. Not anymore. They're always in the company of sorrow, but they don't feel it. They are love. They're breaking down those plastic particles into oblivion. So the masters of love are the strongest beings that we'll ever tell stories about. They're the best among us that have ever been, that will ever be masters of love. So you decide what master of love you like and think about that being. Ponder on that being. Look at that being. Whether it's a carving or it's a photo, or maybe it's a prayer that you heard. Dwell in it. Let it move you so that you may move through the heart of others. And they'll never know who you are, and they don't need to. So I hope that you are moved by the next person that you see that's out in the world, seeming like they don't have a home like we may have, talking to the spirits, and you send them love. Why not? It'll create a habit inside of you to where it'll happen more and more wherever you go. Both my grandmothers were this way. I had really good examples. Yeah, one grandmother was always with her rosary, and the other grandmother was always just talking about Jesus. A master of love. Yeah, beautiful grandmother love. And then when they would cook for you, oh my goodness, the simplest food tasted so good because grandmothers, well, you know, they pray. They think about you and they want you to have the very best in them. So if you're a guy or you're a woman, you have a grandmother that lives inside of you. So the next time that you want to cook for someone or bake for someone, or you want to do something, know that your grandmother love. You're the cosmic grandmother, giving love to one another, right? Grandmother love. I'm not leaving grandfathers out of it. I'm just using the grandmother right now. That's why I say it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You have what I'm talking about is grandmother love. So, we always have a word to practice on. So the word for July is going to be the word goodness. We talked a lot about goodness today, but we use the word love. Goodness is the word. Find it inside of you. Express it through your thoughts, your words, your actions. Speak it to yourself. Chant it. Have a mantra for it. Make an affirmation. I am goodness. You know? So the saboteur this month of goodness is the word, there are two words actually. Isn't it two words or is it hyphenated? Self-righteousness. Hyphenated. Self-righteousness. So that can be a saboteur of goodness. Many other words could be too, but be aware of that, of keeping things to yourself, because if you keep it to yourself, it might go bad. So something to ponder on, right? So we are going to, we're going to do 3 ohms, and then after that, we're just going to break for 5 minutes, and we're going to come back and do meditation today. So if you want to stay for meditation, love to have you. So let's do 3 ohms together.
What happened?
Okay? 3 ohms. Om. 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 May all the beings in all the worlds be happy, and may all that we have gathered today be sent out to help to alleviate the suffering of all sentient beings. Namaste. Till next time.